now with Mario, a guaranteed blockbuster hit. The only thing that is left is determining how big a hit is it going to be? Will it be the biggest movie of the year, or will it just be the second biggest movie of the year? That's kind of where we are right now. With that, there's going
Well,
to come much scrutiny and much more attention, and I think much more pressure from Hollywood to wokeify the next one so that it does go the way of Marvel. Do we think that Nintendo alone can stop this? And will the powers that be at Illumination and Universal want to do what made the money the first time, or try to infuse them some message for industry clout and brownie points? What say you, WDW Pro?
Well, I think that Nintendo, having allegedly stepped in and de-wokeified the storyboards on this original story where Princess Peach may have been too powerful and Mario may not have been the hero of his own story, and that goes right along with what Hollywood does. But I think that's evidence that Nintendo is not going to budge, and Nintendo has much to lose. If you think about Disney, Disney has so many different divisions out there, and they can do so many different things. They have theme parks, they have cruise lines. Now I know all of that, other than the theme parks and the cruise lines, are in decline. But Disney has a massive portfolio, right? Disney has ESPN as a third of their corporate structure now. Nintendo has games, and now they have a movie, but Nintendo has games. Nintendo is not going to partner with anyone and take a passive position where they allow their characters to be damaged and thus their games be damaged. That is not going to happen. And I think Miyamoto and the others at Nintendo, I think that they are not out of the Western culture and where the Western culture has gone. I think they are firmly planted in traditional storytelling, traditional values. And it would surprise me if we go into any in the near term future Nintendo Cinematic Universe movies. I'm not going to project 7 years out. Who knows what happens then? But in the near term, I don't think we're going to get any of those movies that move into this woke or divisive ideology. And furthermore, I think that it's going against now what these studios are realizing. Because if you look at this, what are our big movies from last year? Well, we've got Top Gun Maverick, we've got Minions, we've got Sonic, we've got Avatar: The Way of Water. All of these have, to some degree, paternal themes running through them. And now, what do we got this year? Well, we're seeing this already out of Mario. We've had John Wick do exceedingly well for its budget, and we're going to get Mission Impossible. All of the biggest movies are following the same pattern. And as much as these people hate that pattern, I believe that the market ultimately wins out. I know that not everybody believes this. I just did an interview with John Trent of Bounding into Comics this morning, and he doesn't feel that the market will actually win out because he thinks these people have turned quasi-religious in their endeavors to change entertainment. But I think that ultimately that the money is the power that drives all of entertainment, and the money's drying up for this divisive stuff. The families have caught on.
Yeah. Tom, any thoughts on that before we move on to some of these super chats?
yeah, I mean, I don't know for sure if there was ever like this massive woke problem with Peach, because from what I've heard from a lot of folks, a lot of what's in the movie is stuff that was coming straight out of the games. And I mean, there's just so much in this movie that's so chock full of everything from Nintendo. And I highly doubt, even if there was a moment where Illumination was doing something that Disney or that Nintendo didn't agree with, that they wouldn't just say, "Oh, don't worry about that. We'll change whatever you want, sirs and ma'ams."
Oh, I don't think there was a conflict. I think Nintendo said,
Yeah,
"We're
no,
going to." Yeah,
because
Yeah.
well, and they did it gladly, because at this point they knew that what they had here. This is the first time Nintendo has worked with Hollywood in 30 years, so this is a big deal, and they knew it was a big deal, and they had to get it right the first time. And how do you do that? By trusting the people that have made this shit for 40 years, right? See, and to me, that's what I saw on screen. I'm not a big, huge Mario guy. I don't know all this stuff. I got some of the Easter eggs, and I know some of the stuff vicariously, but full disclosure, I haven't played a full Mario game probably since Super Mario Brothers 3, and I've only played part of Mario World and Dr. Mario, and long enough to say, oh, it's a Tetris ripoff. Like, that's what I'm saying. I've never picked up Mario 64. I have not played any of the games past that. So to me, I still knew all this stuff. And that's all that matters. I watched the movie and I walked out of it and I could give it a Roger Ebert review. Is it for me? Not necessarily. I enjoyed myself. I had a good time with it. But you know what? I know kids are going to love this movie. In fact, I had a review from an 8-year-old yesterday. It is the greatest movie ever made.
Well, in their years, they might be right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's all that matters, right there.
From a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old as well.
See, that's all that matters right now. Is if the kids come out thinking this is the greatest movie ever made, they have won. They have done their fucking job. End of discussion. It doesn't matter.
It gets better because the parents who took them had a good time too. And the parents will appreciate the messaging that is in the movie. Like when I saw this, I was just smiling because of that messaging. And for those that complain about like Peach being this girl power princess and all that jazz, there's just one line in the whole movie that is problematic. Everything else is par for the course with the brand, because what one has to keep in mind is that the brand is no longer what we remember it to be. Like we remember back in the day when Peach basically was a damsel in the distress that needed to be rescued, only for Mario to learn that she was in another castle the whole time. That is what we remember.
That made me laugh.
Exactly. But for kids 15 and younger, they do not recall a time when Peach wasn't a playable character who could do the action every single bit as much as Mario could. Meaning that is who you have to cater to, and the movie has to be adapted to that. Peach is a playable character now. From the point of view of kids, there are two main characters. One is Mario, because every single boy out there identifies with Mario, and it is
or
Peach,
Luigi.
Because they're not. No one is going to be like, "Oh yeah, I see myself as Luigi." They identify with Mario, and they like Luigi. And that's the same thing with the girls. They identify with Peach, and they like Luigi, which means that it's perfectly acceptable to make Luigi the damsel in distress. But Tommy, you had an objection.
Well, it's not an objection so much as I was talking about this last night with Mr. H on his stream, and we were talking about Yoshi, and I said, you know what? I bet you Yoshi's probably the most popular character. Because I remember when it came out, he was a smash, and he's just one of those characters. Whenever anything Yoshi related, people just go gaga over it. So I looked it up.
Dinosaur.
Guess who the most popular character in Super Mario Brothers is?
Yoshi?
Luigi.
Yeah, I'm not surprised because
Luigi. Everybody loves Luigi.
Exactly. And that's why it's perfect that he's the one who's rescued, because everyone loves Luigi. Boys, they identify with Mario, but they love Luigi. Girls, they identify with Peach, but they love Luigi. Everyone wants to rescue Luigi.
You know, Luigi is like the Rick Moranis of the Mario Brothers franchise, and everybody loves Rick Moranis, right? So,
which is why it actually makes both financial and storytelling sense for the modern audience today, that you have Peach and Mario be the kind of like leads and the character that the boy and girl audience respectively can project themselves into. And everyone wants to rescue Luigi because they all love Luigi. See, it's
Wario is more popular than you would think too. Wario is very popular.
Well, sequels.
Just think about the entire roster from the Super Smash Brothers games, which are like 70 or 80 characters. There is a built-in brand recognition for so many stories. There are more characters that are more well-known than there are comic book superheroes in Marvel. So
yeah,
and talking about leverage, Tom, you know, why there wasn't this big kerfuffle behind the scenes between Nintendo and Illumination as they negotiated this out. Well, of course, Nintendo hasn't opened this up to anybody in 30 years. And you're talking about Nintendo handing over a Mickey Mouse level brand recognized character for somebody to use. I mean, there's no telling what the value is in that. We're finding it out right now. But if you look at the top three characters recognized the world over, just cartoon characters, Mickey Mouse, Mario, Sonic the Hedgehog. And it's not necessarily, you know, Sonic's not on the same level necessarily, but their designs are so distinct that their silhouettes are just perfectly known. people have grown up with these. They're multi-generational, brand recognized characters, and they are worth a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
absolutely.
playing this exactly right. I mean, I even noticed, and I wasn't even saying it to like cut down on the film. I take it you've seen it now, Andre. It sounds like you
I have, yes.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why
We
I
didn't
can
get a chance to talk about it.
that's why I can talk about like the one problematic line and why
I
everything
figured.
else
I
kind of
figured.
are the correct decisions.
Well, then you probably
Andre,
would
do
have
you
noticed.
think?
Oh, go ahead and ask your question.
Andre, do you think now that we'll see a full CGI Sonic the Hedgehog series come out of this because of the success of this full CGI Mario?
I hope not, for the simple reason that that's the way to overexposure. I hope that with Sonic they're going to carry on with the movies and then just expand the Sega Cinematic Universe. But to your point of like a Super Smash Bros. Team up event and everything, in Sonic with the rings and the jumping through portals, you already have what is needed to jump into the Nintendoverse.